Welcome to our storytelling. Welcome to our Storytelling Tuesday. Tonight's call is a pretty awesome call, I think. It's all about the premium, well, actually, I keep saying premium starter bundle, but it's not called that anymore. Our oily starter bundle, which is how a lot of us got started. I didn't ask this question, but I'll ask it now. Did everybody here start with the oily starter bundle? You can put it in the chat if you want how you got started. I actually, back when I first started, we didn't have a choice of diffuser. We do now. So this is the Desert Mist diffuser. And this one here is the Dewdrop. And this is an old Dewdrop. See the one button? That's what this came with my starter bundle. We didn't have an option back when I started in 2017. So both diffusers will be exactly the same inside, so have the same runtime, the same color settings and all that. I should have had one of those going, but I actually have my area going because I'm obsessed with it. So yeah, what I'll do is kind of open up the starter bundle. We'll pull out oil by oil, and then we'll all kind of chat a little bit. I love how it opens up too, by the way. Like that's just, if you have an Apple product, you've seen this, the sleeve slips off and then it's magnetic on the side. So super cool. And then there's a little information packet in here. I'm not going to open all that stuff. We're going to focus on the oils, the fun part tonight. So this is the top layer of oils. And before we start there, I will actually show you the layer underneath. I don't know if any of you ladies have had members who did not know about the bottom layer and discovered it like months or years later. I think we all have that member or two. So you just lift this part up right here. And there's so many wonderful goodies down there. So one of my favorite things, of course, Ningxia Red. I think probably a lot of us here are obsessed with Ningxia Red. So tell me your favorite way to have your Ningxia in the comments there. My personal favorite way for this is I put a drop of frankincense with this every day, pretty much. It's very rare that I don't add frank to my Ningxia. If I want a special treat, I'll add a zing to it as well. But a lot of times I just put it in a big, huge water bottle and make it last all day. I'll put sulfurzyme with it sometimes. Ooh, frozen, cool. Love that. Yeah, so put all the Ningxia love in the chat there. And then there's a little Thieves hand sanitizer, which I think we're all obsessed with because it doesn't dry our hands. It's just beautiful. It smells amazing, clears your sinuses if you take a nice deep breath of your hands all sanitized, and just so awesome. And then I'll start with this one in a second because I'll show you this first. Let's see, hang on now. So there's a little roller fitment in there as well. You can pop on any of your oils, and then you can buy more of these, which I love these because they clean so well with some spray rubbing alcohol. And you can buy packs of 10 of these through Young Living. And we love that they're stainless steel because the plastic ones can eventually break down. So these ones are very, very eco-friendly because we can rinse them, clean them, and reuse them. And then there's just your little sample drams in there as well in the bottom. So that is pretty much the bottom of your kit. And I will toss this to the side and show you this beautiful gem of an oil. I don't know, how do we feel about Northern Lights Black Spruce? Does everybody love Northern Lights Black Spruce? I sure do. I know my
favorite one since day one. That was my favorite one.
Oh, I love that. So this oil, both my teen girls are obsessed with. They both love it mixed with lavender at nighttime. Oh, I love that you're putting in your hair. So if you want, when we go through these, I would love it if you guys put in the chat how you use each oil, and anybody that wants to share here can go ahead and speak up and share.
So this one is my husband's cologne. It was his first thing that when he first made the switch away from his toxic deodorant and toxic like aftershave and all that kind of thing, Northern Lights was his thing. And he loved it because he's a graphic artist and animator, and he worked in a windowless room in front of a screen all day. And if you know me and my family, like outside is our like world. It's our therapy. So he like would pretend he'd like take the bottle with him to work, and when he needed an extra boost, he'd just smell it and like reset him for the day to get him home back to the forest again. So it was his trio and a must for him.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. It does make an amazing cologne. Yeah, tree oils on all the mans, 2 drops in my hand, in my hair. Yep, love it. Love it. Or tangerine. Yeah, beautiful. So tangerine, lavender, any of those things, tree scents are just so amazing. And I love that that one's distilled in Canada. It's the only oil that we have that's actually distilled in Canada. Okay, so here we go. Love, love, love all of these oils. I love this kit because like there literally is an oil for everything in here. And I think it's just such a beautiful way to start. And it is actually discounted by more than 50% off of retail pricing. So that's insane. Like it's such a good price. So let's just start right here at the beginning with lavender. I mean, who doesn't love lavender? It's the Swiss Army knife of oils and like used for literally everything. So I use lavender all the time right now in my sinus blend. So lavender, lemon, peppermint. I've showed you guys this before. I love to mix it. I have that bottle, like one like that. I've made several of those with the labels cut literally everywhere, almost next to every diffuser, at my work, in my car, in my purse, everywhere.
Can I show just a little tip, not even about lavender? Just if you didn't know, you can open the back. So it's a little like you can show and tell about your oils. Just if people didn't know about that, it's just like you just have to unfold it. It's very easy.
Yes, because we don't want to put them away. We won't use them. If you tuck them away on a shelf, or like we all have our oils displayed everywhere. Mine are all over the house. But yeah, if you're starting out, open that thing and leave it out so you use those oils every day. Does anybody want to share anything about? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I do. I'm going to jump in and talk about lavender because if you are a mom, especially of boys, you need lavender in your life. And I jokingly, but not jokingly, say that it has saved me multiple trips to the emergency room for stitches with my children. It literally has been the thing. Not only does it like calm like the freak out that happens after getting hurt for the child because they smell it and it just helps bring their heart rate back down, which would help slow breathing anyway, or slow the bleeding anyway. But it literally has stopped bleeding for my children multiple times, like gashes to the eyebrow, gashes to the lip, like multiple times where like I just cannot live without lavender. We have it in every single room of our house. That's how many bottles we have. We keep it in our barn for when the kids are outside. We keep it in our car for who knows what, but we literally have lavender everywhere because when in doubt, use lavender and it really, really works.
Such a good point. If you don't know what oil to use, always go to lavender.
My favorite, and this you already said this blend that your teenagers love it, is lavender and Northern Lights Black Spruce in the diffuser at nighttime. And then also for anybody that struggles with sleep, hot tip, put it on the bottoms of your big toes. You can make a little roller up if you want just like a really easy, quick on the go application, but massage it into the bottoms of your big toes. And if you've learned some of the VitaFlex technique for like how to properly apply your oils, you can use your thumb to kind of like pressure point in. And honestly, it creates the best sleep ever for me. And I am sure to use it every single night.
Cool. I know a lot of people drop the oils right on the crown of their head for sleep too. Have you guys tried, any of you guys tried that? Yeah.
One thing I will say about lavender though, is that oftentimes we think of lavender as like, oh, it's the calming and relaxing. It's the sleepy oil because it's marketed as such. But the thing about pure lavender is that a few drops is enough. Less is best, because if you use too many, you'll actually do the opposite. Instead of relaxing, it invigorates. So I always say for babies and like little ones, no more than 2 drops in the diffuser. But if you're doing it for yourself, no more than 4 drops, because any more than that, you're going to end up being awake all night rather than relaxed all night.
I did not know that. Thank you for sharing. Very cool. And Anna says lavender and baking soda in her cat litter. That's pretty cool. Never heard of that one either. Cool. Okay, shall we move on? Yes. All right, so next one up is peppermint. I feel like lavender and peppermint are definitely the 2 most versatile oils, maybe Frank too, but certainly these 2. I just love peppermint. I use it all the time. It goes in my water every single day. I, yeah, use it for so many things. Obviously the sinus blend, and I love it in the diffuser during the day by itself or with other oils, because it just is so energizing, refreshing. I put it in my thieves cleaner in the bathroom. Tons of ways to use this one. Somebody else want to share theirs?
My favorite is just like on the go, or I remember I used to struggle with driving home from work. I had like a 45-minute commute, and which is not long at all. But I would doze. Like I'm the worst for starting to fall asleep driving. So what I would do before my drive is a couple of drops of peppermint in the palms of my hands, rub them together, and then take deep inhales. I swear to goodness, it works better than like caffeinated drinks for me. Like it wakes me right up. And if you're still struggling, just put a couple more drops on as you go along your way and use it. So it's great for long road trips. Just like if you struggle with like the afternoon slump at work, if you're somebody that struggles to kind of get going in the morning, I always recommend that you throw peppermint in the diffuser or on your hands. My favorite on the go use is just like putting it right on me or like sniffing right from the bottle.
I actually put peppermint in my morning coffee too. I forgot that one. In my latte, there's peppermint. I don't use any sweetener. It's just peppermint. And yeah, I love that idea. Pre-workout, I used to do that as well. I haven't been as good working out lately. I need to get back to that. But yeah, peppermint or RC pre-workout. Do you have anything you want to share, Laura?
I do. Peppermint, again, as a mom, it has saved me. When I was pregnant with my second, I had severe morning sickness for the first 18 weeks that I was pregnant. And so I had to still take care of my toddler and still had to change poopy diapers. And when you're pregnant, you get something like a super sense. You can smell everything, even though it's a million miles away and nobody else can smell it. So I literally would keep peppermint in my purse, diaper bag, pocket, like multiple bottles everywhere. So that when I first got that urge to like woof my cookies, I would take it and like literally sniff it like a junkie out of the bottle. And it kept me from like throwing up on the go. It was a must. And so rides home from work, that type of thing, I needed that with me. And then also peppermint is a must have. We keep a bottle even to this day in our truck because both my boys tend to have motion sickness. So whenever they're feeling a little bit crazy, because we live out in the country and bumpy roads and twisty turny roads and stuff, that's like the worst. So they literally have a bottle in their cup holder that they just open up and they do like I do and sniff like a junkie from the bottle, and it helps them. And we can get from point A to point B without them making a mess in the car.
Love that. Thank you. Somebody else said the same thing. Anna said the same thing about morning sickness and pregnancy and heartburn, and for reflux. And also, I forgot about this one too, but putting peppermint on the back of your neck when you're overheated is amazing. I used that actually when I was in Utah for convention 2019. My sister and I hiked, and it's like desert heat, which we're not used to in Newfoundland or East Coast, really Canada. And so we were not prepared for that and the elevation and just how hot it would be. So yeah, it saved us for that and Ningxia Red, because we took a lot of Ningxia and Nitro with us, thank goodness. But yeah, anybody else want to share? Good. Okay. Next one is lemon. So I actually have the lemon in this one. I put a white label in there, even though we don't get any white labels in our Canadian starter bundle. But it's a good opportunity to discuss the difference in a white label and a yellow label, or any other color, doesn't matter. So the oil inside the bottles is exactly the same, but any of the oils that come in a white label mean they're labeled for dietary purposes. So we just talked about using peppermint in drinks and coffees and whatever. So technically, if we were like showing that on our social media account or something, it should be the white label. But obviously, again, same oil inside the bottle. So lemon, I feel, is one of those super versatile oils as well. I use this in my water every single morning. So I pour up a water before I go to bed with just a little tiny squirt of the Vitality drops in there, and then about 5-6 drops of lemon oil in there, so a lot. And it's in it like my mason jar Young Living kind of glass, and I have that as soon as I wake up. So I don't have my coffee right away, even though I used to love to have my coffee first thing, but I try not to do that to my adrenals now. I have it shortly thereafter, but I always make sure I have that one water before, like it's a big water with the lemon in it, and it just helps our systems cleanse and reset, and it starts the day off a little bit better, I think, for our systems. So anybody else want to share about lemon?
I've got lots. Lemon is a must have at our house. My boys have hair longer than mine and it's curly, and we live in the forest. We did forest school when they were preschoolers, and now that's just our life. They're just wildlings and run free. And so we often will get sap on fingers, on hands, and hair. And trying to get tangly hair filled with sap out would be crazy. But thankfully, we have lemon oil. And now they don't even ask me for it. They will literally go to my oil shelf. They know it themselves. They will put it on there, the piece that's stuck, rub it between their fingers, and go on their merry little way. So it is a must for that. When they were a little bit younger, of course, like all kids do, they took crayons and permanent markers and all of the things to all of the things. And we were trying to sell our house at the time. And I remember like 5 minutes before we were supposed to leave to get out of the house for a house showing, I walked around into my child's room and he had permanent marker all over the wall. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? Went for the lemon and it literally cleaned it up and out the door, and it didn't stink. You know what I mean? Like some things that you would use would be really, really stinky, but it just smelled so fresh and lovely. So it's a must. And the third thing that I love to use lemon for is that when my boys get cranky and angry, anger is a sign of like liver issues. And so anger and lemon go hand in hand. So if you apply lemon topically over your liver, I notice a huge shift within 10 minutes of me applying it to my boys. So must have.
Oh, I love that one. Cool. You said about lemon getting anything out of their hair. I've seen this trick. I didn't have these oils when my girls were littles, but when they were small, we used to use those little tiny elastics that are like super skinny, which were great for their fine hair, but they would rip the hair out. And you just have to touch the lemon oil off one of those elastics and it breaks, it comes apart, which is super cool, especially if you have little girls.
I use that on myself because I don't have a lot of hair. So I do like little things, and that's what I do. I just put lemon and it just
And it just
open.
pops. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else want to talk about lemon before I move on? Lemon is, yeah, a mood booster for sure. It's like sunshine in a bottle, honestly. Okay, I'll move on. This is like my ultimate oil right here. Frankincense and Valor is my other favorite, but frankincense, I just adore frankincense. My body craves frankincense. Like I said earlier, I put it in my Ningxia. Oh, I'm going to drop it now. I put it in my Ningxia Red every day. I love it so much. And it's funny because it wasn't an oil I loved immediately when I smelled it. I don't think very many people do when they smell it first. But now I cannot go a day without it. I put it on my skin every single day, on my face. Obviously, it's in my face serum. I also have like another one of those, not that one, another one of those bottles with the label cut, because this is another blend that I use all the time. So it's frankincense, copaiba, and lavender, and that is the base for my face serum, but also I use it for tons of other things. Like this is good for owies, especially for littles, because all of those are very gentle oils. Like they're not going to be, some kids might not like the tingle of peppermint or the panaway or things like that. It might be a little bit too much for them. But this is excellent for that as well. And also really great for calming and like sleep, any of those sorts of things, anxiety, any of that. But yeah, frankincense is like,
I use it for anxiety. So what I do, I just put a drop. I'm gonna do it. I just put a drop like this, and I just put it on the roof of my mouth, and it just calm you instantly. It's so powerful. When you have an anxiety attack or something like that, that's a good one to have with you all the time. And I don't know if you knew that. I just want to show the caps are different.
Yep.
And those, here you go. Those like the lemon is because they're approved by Health Canada, and they do have the little NPN on it number.
Yep.
And those one doesn't. They don't. So that's why the coverage is different. I don't know if everybody knew that.
I did not know that that was why. So only our natural health products, the ones that are approved by Health Canada, have the safety cap on them. They're the only oils.
Yes.
That's why none of the oils in the US have the safety caps.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess so. Yeah,
Thank
and it's really like when I
So-
say it's like Tylenol. When you take Tylenol, like the bottle's gonna be like safe for children. Same for the oils. So there you go. A little tidbit.
Interesting.
Cool. Did not know
I
that.
have a frankincense testimonial. It's actually not mine, but it's my mom's. She had melanoma on her nose. And so the doctor gave her a steroid cream. And she said, Laura, didn't I hear or read something when you first gave me my oils? Because I just gave it to her. I said, Mom, use this. And I said, yeah, there's something about that. But I said, it's up to you whether to try it. She said, for 6 weeks before my follow-up, I'm just going to try that instead. So every day she would put frankincense on the spot. And when she went to her doctor for the follow-up appointment, he said, so that steroid cream seems to be working. And she's like, actually, I haven't been using it. And he said, well, what are you using? And she told him, and he said, well, it's clearly working, stick with it. So she never had to use the steroid cream. She was able to use the frankincense, and now she's never had an issue. And my father, just this past year, he started to notice that he had one on the back of his hand, and Mom's like, oh, I've got the thing. You don't even have to go to the doctor. And it took care of it for him too. So there's
Wow.
a little tip. So it's a must have.
That is awesome. Love that. So it faded it too, like it completely took it away. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Love it. Love it. Okay. Does
Another frankincense one I always get questions from people about what to use with little ones when they're stuffed up. Frankincense, lemon, and lavender is a really great gentle combination that you can apply topically with some coconut oil on their chest, just like you would like your conventional Vicks Vapor Rub, or on their feet. And you can also throw that in the diffuser or in a roller for kind of more on the go applications.
Love it. Thank you. Okay, I don't think there's anything in the chat about frankincense, so I'll move on. Copaiba is the next one, another one that I actually adore, and it's super popular in our house. We are never ever without this one. This is one of my husband's favorite oils, if not his top oil. And he uses it for many reasons, but the number one being anxiety, as you said earlier, Marie, like this is his go-to for anxiety. And he uses this under his tongue. So he just puts like a drop or two under his tongue, and he finds that it just calms him. And we all actually see a difference. Like if we can, see that he's feeling stressed or whatever, and he uses this, it's amazing. I've used it under my tongue for sleep. Sometimes I don't normally have issues sleeping, but every now and again, if you you just had a stressful day or whatever, I've tried it and it's amazing. And I actually have a member whose husband works like offshore, and he works night shift when he works offshore. And he was not a fan of the oils when she started, and she heard about Copaiba helping with sleep. And he used to really struggle with getting back on track when he'd come back in. And she got him to try this, and he swears by it now. He is like avid Copaiba fan. So, but honestly, this can be used for so many reasons. I call this my extra strength. So if there's anything that I'm using that I want to make it more powerful, like for instance, the pain blend, I just add Copaiba to anything. So this one is like Panaway, peppermint, and Copaiba in a roller. But anytime you want to make something bumped up a little bit, add this. It's also really great. So that trio that I had, that Frank, lavender, and Copaiba that I use for my skin serum, I have a roller in the bathroom as well that's bumped up with Copaiba for under your eyes. So if you have any issues, ladies with under eye things, dark circles, puffiness, any of that kind of stuff, bump up your serum with some Copaiba and you're good to go.
So I, of course, have another testimonial because I'm obsessed with all of these things. But when I was pregnant with my second, I got something called SPD, which is a common thing. 1 in 3 mamas get it. But basically what it means is the relaxin hormone comes too soon, and it makes it really hard to walk. So in like cartoons or movies where you see pregnant people and they waddle or they're bent over because they can't walk very well, that was me. And I love my oils, but I couldn't use the conventional things like Panaway or wintergreen or things like that, because it's not safe when you're pregnant, right? So instead, Copaiba to the rescue. It literally kept me going for the last 2 weeks, that and chiropractic together, for the last 2 weeks of my pregnancy. So I was still able to take care of my little guy. So it's like my must have. Yes, it's got a whole bunch of things for babies, which I'm sure other people will talk about, but for pregnant moms, for pain issues, it's my number one recommendation.
Yeah, I think everybody knows about the copaiba and teething. We're in the thick of a teething baby right now. So copaiba is basically my lifeline. And I guess the most frequently asked question I get too is how do you put it on? And you literally tip the bottle upside down, put a drop on your finger, and right all along the baby's gums. You can also, yeah, and teething puppies works for them too. You can apply it on along their jawline as well. I also find it has a relaxing effect on my son. So beyond just like the pain relief properties, if he's having a really tough day or just like I'm noticing he's out of sorts, he's extra tired and he's struggling with teething, I will make sure that I put it along his gums or apply it in a roller or throw it in the diffuser for him as well.
Do you want to share what you put in the comments there, Marie?
Yeah, well, copaiba, it's like CBD. It contains some BCP in it, and that's what makes you more relaxed and make you go to sleep. In CBD, if I remember, there's like 15 to 30% of BCP, and copaiba, it's actually 55. So it's more powerful than CBD. So that's good to know. So also under your tongue, that's perfect. That's how it goes the fastest. You can, I know a woman who used 3 drops under her tongue every night and she slept very well. She has no problem sleeping now. Yeah. And also if you can use it to multiply or enhance the effect of the other oils, but you have to put it on top. It's not blend, it's really layered. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. According to Mary Young, when we put peppermint on top of, when we do layering techniques, when we put peppermint on top of the last one as well, that pushes everything deeper. So she had talked about using Panaway, then copaiba, and then peppermint as the layering trio. But yeah, pretty cool. Okay, we'll move on to the next one, which is probably a favorite of everyone here. And I'm going to smell this one. So this is Thieves, which is like, I love it. If you like spicy, kind of Christmassy, clove, cinnamon, to me, that's the most prominent smells from Thieves. I just love it. So yeah, this is going to be like our immune support blend, and great in the diffuser because then everyone in the house gets it. Obviously we have an entire line based on Thieves, so it is like a powerhouse immune oil. Also, the story behind Thieves is pretty cool. If you don't know it, definitely look it up. It is so cool. So I have Thieves, Frank, and Lemon. And that's the immune trio that I love to use, probably that a lot of us use. When I do my roller, I actually add oregano to mine because I would be more prone to sinus infections. So that's what I add to mine. Whereas for my youngest daughter and my husband, they're more prone to respiratory things. So we would add RC to theirs. But I also love having Thieves in a tea. And I think probably a lot of us do Thieves tea. And it's really nice in your water as well. So just in your cold water, I really like it that way as well. So anybody else want to share about Thieves? I think we all have Thieves stories.
I can share a little testimony. I was getting an abscess tooth, and I've watched like huge dudes drop to the floor with abscess tooth back in my oil field days. And it was the one thing I like never wished for. And I think I had a sip of hot tea, and that was the only time I threw myself on the couch kicking my feet. I got to the dentist, got antibiotics, but I had to wait for them to kick in. So I just looked up in the app and it said to put Thieves on a cotton swab up against your gum. And I literally had like no pain after that. I was so thankful because I do not want that pain.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Erin. My husband went through similar, he actually had gum surgery and found that Thieves was amazing. They gave him this mouth rinse, which was horrible. It looked horrible. It stunk horrible. And he is very by the book. So he tried it for the first couple of days and he had so much pain and he wasn't getting any better. And I said to him, please just do Thieves. And so he did. And instantly he saw a difference and it healed up really quickly. So yeah, for sure. Love that. Will I move on, or does anybody else want to share about these? Move on. I haven't looked at our time. Oh my gosh. Okay. Digize. We are so running late. Okay. My husband loves this one. He has diverticulitis. He has reflux. He has all kinds of digestive issues. So this one is like, he uses it all the time. I think if you need Digize, you know Digize. And if you're not, if you don't have any digestive issues, it's probably still in your kit sitting there. But I will say, if you're not using it for tummy issues, a lot of people also use this one for sinus issues, which I just learned in the last couple of months. I had no idea, but I've heard so many people comment on that, and they just like swipe it across their sinuses, just like you would the sinus blend. And they've used it on kids for sinuses too. I think you can do soles of your feet for kids as well. So there you go. Anybody else want to share about Digize? Or will I move quickly through this now? Okay, Powerhouse Pain Blend coming up. This one smells so amazing, you guys. I love the smell of this. I love wintergreen and helichrysum, and that's what comes through for me when I smell this one. And this one just works so well topically. It's not one I diffuse a lot because this is like a little bottle of gold. It's like $50 to buy on its own. So it doesn't go in my diffuser. Some people do, but I use this topically. Yeah. So if you have like knee pain, headaches, like anything like that, this is definitely one you're going to want to try. And mixing, doing that layering technique that I spoke about a minute ago. So with Panaway and then peppermint and then copaiba is amazing. Like I do have this roller done up, and that's like just like for putting in your purse or whatever. But if you can layer it, that is definitely a more effective way to use your oils. Anybody else want to share anything about Panaway? No? Okay, perfect. RC. Oops. I did a whole storytelling Tuesday on RC because this one was a complete game changer in our house for my 15-year-old. She was diagnosed with asthma when she was probably 5 years old. And it just smells so good. And we did like heavy RC protocol. If anybody wants to hear about that, we can send the storytelling Tuesday on that one. We'd be happy to, but honestly, this guy is so powerful. We made a roller with 25 drops in there, and topped up with carrier oil. I made her a pillow spray and I diffused RC in her bedroom every night. It was like gold, like so good. Anybody else want to share about RC? Good. Okay. Last one is purification. And I'm going to let somebody else take the stage on this one, even though I could talk and talk, but somebody else go for it. Who wants to talk about purification?
I've got a weird one. I have only ever had one yeast infection in my entire life. And I was pregnant at the time. And so, of course, when you have them, they tell you need all of these synthetic creams and things. And natural hippie mama that I was, there's no way I was going to put that close to that. So, of course, I go to my desk reference. I go online. I talk to friends. And I learned that you could make your own little suppository pill things out of coconut oil mixed with purification. So I made my own, and you stick them in the freezer and they freeze like a little pill, just like a canistin or whatever you want to call it. One application was all I needed. So I put it up at nighttime. The next day I was completely cured. So it is a must have. So now I just keep like the little like frozen pills, but I've never needed them. And that's what I've used. So yeah.
How many drops did you put in there?
I did 2 drops in like, I think it was like a tablespoon. And then I spread out that tablespoon into like a couple of different, like I used wax paper and I just wrapped it around the end of a pencil and twisted the top. And I was able to pour the coconut oil and the purification in, and then like was wedged that into my freezer so that it froze solid as a thing. And then I could peel off the wax paper and it was easy to go and ready to go. So.
Whoa, that's awesome. Never heard that before. Okay. Anybody else have a purification to eliminate? Yes. Skunk scent. Wow. All over our front door. Oh my God. That is so horrible, but I'm glad purification worked. We used to also put, I used purification on cotton rounds, and we used to put it in my daughter's skates, get rid of the stink. A lot of people here use it in hockey gear. And I also always travel with it. Like I'll put it around my hotel room, especially if I'm going like down south somewhere where there's lots of different critters and, hotels might not be quite as clean as they are in North America. I always travel with purification, put it on cotton rounds and around the hotel room. Sorry, I can't stop talking about these oils. I said I wasn't going to then, and I did anyways. But yeah, so I think we've gone over our time a little bit tonight. So if there's not any, yeah, garbages for sure. Oh, bee stings. Cool. Cool. And on the soles of your feet to stop critters too, right? Like a lot of people, yeah, as kind of like a bug off. So yeah, as you can tell, we all love the starter bundle. You can reach out to any of us if you have any questions about it, if you need any help. Yeah, we love it. Thankful for the starter bundle every day. Thank you guys for coming and thank you for contributing. We really appreciate the comments and the shares. So good. So have a great rest of your evening and hopefully we'll see you next week.